Hello, welcome to my fourth part of the Kenya vacation traveler. On the third day of our Kenyan vacation, we were going to Masai Mara. We were to take a flight from Loldia airstrip, which was almost an hour's drive from Naivasha Sopa Lodge. We left the lodge by around 9 am and there were hardly any person or vehicle on the road. We reached the airstrip and we bid farewell to our guide and driver Onasmus, who was with us from the time we landed at Nairobi. I was witnessing the landing of such a small aircraft on soil runway for the first time. It was also the first time we were traveling in such a small aircraft. Apart from four of us and the two pilots, there were another two passengers in the flight. We were airborne soon.
Masai Mara National Reserve is an area of preserved savanna wilderness in southwestern Kenya along the Tanzanian border. On the other side of the border in Tanzania, it is the Serengeti National Park. The border between these two countries is unfenced, and hence the wildlife can move freely between these two ecosystems. Each year, over 2 million wildebeest, zebra, and other herbivores trek from the southern Serengeti to the lush green grasses of the Masai Mara. This migration is one of the famous wonders of nature. It happens between July and October, and we were there by the end of August, wishing to see the action. Once we landed at the old Kiombo airstrip, we had a safari jeep waiting for us to be taken to our place of stay for the next 3 days. The Mara Interpret camp was very close to the airstrip, and we reached the camp within 5 minutes. Completing the check-in formalities, we were taken to our tent, which was overlooking the river. The camp was inside the forest and had an electric fence just in front of our tent.
I was trying to take some pictures of the sandpiper which was feeding inside the water when I heard a big flock of birds flying above me. They settled at a tree nearby. They were the wattle starlings. I also saw some beautiful wild berries there. I was not sure whether they were edible varieties. I saw a water bug at a distance, which I later understood that it was the Defesa water bug, which is a near threatened species. So my sighting of Mara animals started with a near threatened species.
We then went for lunch and were treated to a scrumptious vegetarian meal. Our safari was to start around 4 pm, and we settled for some rest in our tent. As if influenced by the surroundings, Navneet decided to rest on the branch of the tree in front of our tent.
I kept watching the river and could see Haddada ibis and the sacred ibis. On the other bank of the river, I also spotted a family of olive baboons. We started sharp at 4 pm from the camp with our guide, the always smiling Joe.
As soon as we entered the park, we could sense the vastness. We could see the savannah, the grasslands, till our eyes could reach. Very soon we started seeing animals, starting with the Grant's gazelle and the Thompson's gazelle as they were running in plenty, very close by. At a distance, we could see a black-backed jackal running. It stopped for a while to look at us and disappeared.
Then came the lonely ostrich and the herd of cave buffalo. Then we saw the warthog, made famous by the character Pumbaa in the movie Lion King. We then saw a strange animal with spiral horns. Is this a bull or an antelope? It is eland, explained our guide. There were some birds sitting on eland, which my father informed me are the red-billed oxpeckers. It was then I spotted something like a rock, but slowly moving, very close to a safari jeep. It was a tortoise, and our guide said that it was a good spotting, as people often miss spotting smaller animals in Masai Mara. It was a tortoise, which later came to be known as leopard tortoise.
There were a number of jeeps assembled at a place, and when we asked, they said there is a leopard inside the bushes devouring on a kid. Navaneet and my father tried different angles to get the picture, but what they could manage is only these pictures. Not sure whether you can spot the leopard. I couldn't.
It was then the radio beeped inside the jeep, which announced the spotting of a cheetah nearby. We rushed to the spot and could see the cheetah sitting on top of an anthill. After posing from there, it started its walk. I am unable to explain the feeling of seeing the cheetah from such a short distance. There was nothing between us, only air. To give you a sense of the proximity, let me show you how close it was to our jeep. Beautiful beast. As we continued our journey behind another jeep, just on the side, we saw a couple of lions sleeping. The male woke up and it was such a majestic sight. He then roared to wake the female also. It was not just two of them, but it was a bigger pride.
Our bad luck with the leopard continued as we spotted another one on top of a tree, but with its head to the other side. It was sleeping, so we did not know when we will get to see. We turned from there as daylight was fading. On our way back, we saw a hyena at a distance. There was a unique looking bird ahead of our jeep. It was the helmeted guinea fowl. We then saw another pair of lions from the same pride we saw earlier. The male had a scar on the right side of his face, and he was not so happy to see us lurking nearby, as if to warn us. He showed his fearsome teeth. We could see rains at a distance, and we rushed back to our tent.
It was a whole different experience in the night. We could hear the lions and hyenas all around us. But we went to sleep early as we had the balloon safari next day early morning, which I have presented as my first video. I will come back next week with more sights of Masai Mara. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Asante!